Some RPGs fade from memory the day after you play them, but others hit so hard every cent spent feels like a bargain. This list is about those games, intense campaigns, unique systems, and worlds that fully pull you in. It doesn't matter if it's tactical combat, fast-paced action, or weighty choices, every game here delivers more than it promises. If you value every hour well spent, this video is for you. I'm Jax, and if you're new here, welcome to Play Hunters, the channel where I bring you daily content so you never miss anything from the gaming world. If you can subscribe to help me grow, I'd be super grateful from one gamer to another. Before we start, tell me in the comments what's the best RPG you've ever played. That one that had you hooked for hours and made every minute worth it. Now let's get into the first game. Clare Obscure Expedition 33 builds its world on a cruel and absurd concept. Every year, a new age is chosen to die, and anyone who reaches it simply vanishes. That number is now 33. This isn't a fiery apocalypse, but a silent, melancholic collapse, where death has become routine and no one knows why. The campaign follows the last ones left, and time, quite literally, is running out. The combat system is one of the most creative ever made for a turn-based RPG. You don't just select a command and watch. Every enemy attack can be dodged or blocked in real time, blending strategy with reflexes. It's like playing a Souls-like inside a classic RPG. Timing becomes part of your strategy, and every battle feels alive. It's fast, precise, and gripping from beginning to end. The world looks like a dream and a nightmare combined. The art feels surreal, like everything is melting with time. Floating staircases, broken cities, and fog-covered fields surround you constantly. Nothing feels stable. Everything seems moments away from disappearing, which reinforces the game's core theme. A world that's dying, yet still screams beauty in its final seconds. Expedition 33 is more than just stylish. It brings fresh ideas, heartfelt combat, and a story that hits that primal fear of vanishing without a trace. It's rare to find an RPG that stands out in so many ways at once. And when the journey ends, the real question isn't how to save the world, but whether it's still worth saving at all. The Altars has one of the most original setups in modern narrative RPGs. You're stranded alone on a hostile planet, but you can create alternate versions of yourself, each with unique skills, memories, and inner conflicts. The campaign revolves around survival, identity, and choice. No heroes, no clear villains, just decisions that change everything, including who you are. Gameplay blends base management, exploration, and interaction with these other yous. The tension rises as you rely on them, but start to fear what they might become. Each altar has their own perspective, and some may go against your orders. This creates a psychological pressure that's impossible to ignore. It's not about guns, it's about confronting yourself. The environment is cold, lonely, and emotionally unstable. Every room you build, every pause, every conversation reflects the mood of the base. The visual design amplifies the isolation and unease, even when everything seems to be running smoothly. There's beauty in the despair, and the game leans into that with finesse. The Altars isn't a traditional RPG. It doesn't measure strength by stats or damage, but by the weight of your choices. It's introspective, uncomfortable, and brilliant. A game that forces you to face not just outside threats, but everything you've been hiding from yourself. And when it ends, the emptiness it leaves behind proves just how much that journey mattered. Black Myth Wukong came in like a tidal wave, promising brutal action, Chinese mythology, and jaw-dropping visuals, and it delivered all of it and then some. The campaign is intense, epic, and full of character, set in a world that blends legend and cruelty in equal measure. Nothing here is easy, nothing is predictable. It's a lonely but grand journey where every enemy has a story and every place hides a secret. Combat feels like a Souls-like, but with its own flow. You wield spells, transformations, and combos that demand precision and enemy reading. Every boss is a serious test, and even basic foes deserve respect. There's no room for sloppiness, but the game gives you the tools to evolve, strike back, and fight with style. It's fast, tough, but always fair. The world is mesmerizing. Quiet forests, abandoned temples, cursed swamps, shattered villages. The art direction is steeped in detail, with creatures that look like they came straight out of ancient scrolls. Everything has symbolic weight, and the soundtrack backs it up with epic and haunting tones. This is a game soaked in mythology, culture, and just the right dose of brutality. Black Myth Wukong isn't just about beating enemies, it's about endurance. Enduring pain, solitude, fate, and every step of this blood-soaked path is worth it. An action RPG that demands a lot, but pays you back with unforgettable moments. Easily one of the most powerful releases of this generation. Metaphor Refantasio takes everything Atlus learned from Persona and Shin Megami Tensei and drops it into a high fantasy setting that feels ripped from a political fairy tale. The campaign revolves around a royal election, with each candidate representing different ideologies, and you're caught in the middle, trying to survive and earn support. But it's not just politics, it's about identity, trust, and how fear shapes every choice. Combat blends turn-based tactics with light real-time action. You can ambush enemies in the overworld, choose the right moment to engage, or avoid them altogether. Once inside battle, it turns into a sharp dance of buffs, debuffs, skills, and enemy weaknesses. It's fast, stylish, and far more engaging than you might expect. There's depth, but it never kills the pace. The world is loaded with symbols and meaning. Floating castles, kingdoms eaten alive by ideology, ruins where old dreams lie dead. The visuals aren't just pretty, they have context. Every location bears the mark of who ruled, who resisted, and who got crushed. The music, the color, the design, everything feeds into a world in constant conflict. Metaphor doesn't fall back on safe formulas. It builds something new on top of everything that already worked. With characters that matter, dialogue that carries weight, and decisions that truly change the journey, it's a modern RPG with guts and soul, every choice matters, and every moment is worth living. Fallen Feathers dives into a Ming Dynasty China consumed by plague, legends, and a spiritual darkness eating away at everything. The campaign blends historical fiction with supernatural horror, creating a setting where the sacred and the profane walk side by side. The journey is lonely but heavy with meaning. The world is dying, and you're just one more soul trying to survive the chaos. Gameplay follows the Souls-like blueprint, with punishing combat, tight timing, and precise movement. What stands out, though, is the use of traditional weapons and ritual-based magic. Fights are brutal, enemies attack with savage speed, and each victory feels hard-earned. There's a unique balance between ferocity and grace in the animations, beauty even in violence. The visuals are dark and incredibly detailed. Broken temples, corrupted forests, villages drowned in eerie silence. Everything reinforces the sense that something went wrong long ago. Ambient sounds and the haunting soundtrack keep the tension high. There is beauty here, but always buried under rot. And that duality works brilliantly. Fallen Feathers succeeds by combining myth, refined combat, and a heavy atmosphere. It doesn't aim to please with ease or brightness. It wants you to feel the weight of every step, every fight, every choice. A brutal, mysterious action RPG that challenges, haunts, and pulls you in equally. Kingdom Come Deliverance II continues the first game's bold mission, placing you in the heart of a real medieval war in Bohemia. No magic, no chosen one, just politics, faith, and blood. The campaign picks up right where the last left off, with a story that's both more personal and more epic. The world doesn't revolve around you, but you have to find your place in it, and that's what makes everything hit harder. Gameplay remains grounded and realistic. Sword combat demands precision, movement reading, and calculated openings. Fighting isn't about button mashing, it's about surviving with skill. Progression is slow, skill systems evolve through use, and everything carries weight. Eating, sleeping, maintaining your gear, it's not optional. It's part of the immersion. The map is larger, richer in detail, and filled with events that unfold whether you're there or not. Warring villages, besieged castles, ambushes, investigations, betrayals, all built on historical records. The realism is so strong you forget it's a game. Each town has its own culture, laws, and problems, and you have to learn to live or survive within them. Deliverance II proves you can craft an epic RPG with no dragons or portals, just strong storytelling, deep systems, and a world that lives on its own. It's dense, demanding, and absolutely immersive. One of those games you don't just play, you live in. Elden Ring took everything from software had done and turned it into a titan. The campaign is fragmented, mysterious, and built to be unraveled piece by piece. No arrows pointing where to go, no long-winded tutorials. The world gives you space and dares you to make sense of it. And because of that, every discovery feels earned. Nothing is explained, everything is felt. Combat keeps its Souls-like roots, but now adds full freedom. You can fight a boss on horseback, drop from cliffs, raid castles, flee, return 10 hours later and try again. Builds are endless, the arsenal is massive, and the magic is flashier and deadlier than ever. You carve out your journey, and the game answers to your playstyle. There's no right path, only yours. The map is a masterpiece. Massive open fields, haunted forests, hidden catacombs, ruined castles, celestial fortresses, even buried cities. The scale is jaw-dropping, but what really sticks is the level of detail. Every location has something special, a story, a trap, a secret, and behind it all, a cruel but coherent logic. Elden Ring doesn't hold your hand, but it never lets go either. It throws you into the abyss and watches to see if you'll fly or fall, a game that demands your full commitment. And when you finally give in, you'll understand why so many never wanted to leave. Cyberpunk 2077 pulled off a rare redemption arc. After a messy launch, the campaign was rebuilt with updates and expansion, revealing a brutal, emotional, and stylish RPG. The story drops you into Night City's underworld, where bodies are disposable, souls get digitized, and the line between human and machine is long gone. In the middle of it all, you have to decide who you'll become. Gameplay has drastically improved, especially with the revamped progression system. Now you can craft an agile, brutal, stealthy, or full hacker build, all with real impact on how the game reacts. Gunplay feels better, abilities make a difference, and close-quarter combat is more intense and tactical than ever. Night City is an urban colossus. Every district has its own vibe, every gang owns their space, and every mission brings narrative consequences. The main story hits hard, but it's the side quests that truly shine. Many of them could be full campaigns in other games. They're personal, tragic, pivotal, and they shape how you see this world. Cyberpunk 2077 is now a true RPG, one you mold with every decision. The deeper you go, the more you realize this shiny future always comes with a cost. It's slick, violent, and full of dilemmas. A game that now delivers everything it promised, maybe even more. Disco Elysium trades swords for words and magic for existential collapse. The campaign plays out in a decaying city where you wake up with no memory and a murder to solve, while also trying to figure out who you are, but you quickly learn this isn't a game about clear answers. It's about failing, trying again, and negotiating with the shattered pieces of your own mind. Gameplay centers on dialogue and skill checks, but it goes way deeper. Your emotions, addictions, beliefs, even hallucinations become characters that influence your every choice. There's no correct way to play. Every thought, line, and decision changes how the world sees you and how you see yourself in it. Revachol is bitter and alive. It's not waiting to be saved, just struggling to survive its past. The people you meet carry ideologies, regrets, and secrets. Every character is unforgettable. The writing is razor-sharp, challenging, often cruel, but it also leaves room for humor, tenderness, and unexpected beauty. Disco Elysium doesn't test your reflexes, it tests your honesty. It's a text RPG, but also a soul RPG. Every run reveals something new, not just about the world, but about you. One of the only games that truly understands what role-playing means. Yakuza Like a Dragon pulls off the impossible, turning a series known for real-time brawling into a turn-based RPG and absolutely nailing it. The campaign follows a new lead rising through the criminal underworld, blending heavy drama, social critique, and utterly ridiculous humor. It's intense, weird, and insanely charming. Combat is turn-based but dynamic, with light movement, wild special attacks, and party members with jobs ranging from chef to breakdancer. The animations are over the top on purpose, and the game never takes this part too seriously. That makes every fight unique, fun, and unexpected. Even when it's easy, you're smiling. The world is packed with side content and bizarre characters, all with small stories that feed into the big one. Mini-games, part-time jobs, friendships, they all matter, and despite the non-stop comedy, the game knows when to get serious. The dramatic moments hit hard, with strong dialogue and real adult themes. This tonal variety is what makes it so addictive. Yakuza Like a Dragon is the kind of RPG that keeps surprising you. A wild blend of heart, madness, and flashy punches. It takes the traditional formula and dumps glitter all over it, without ever losing focus on what really counts: characters you want to follow to the end. One of the most charismatic RPGs in recent years. Tales of Arise took the franchise to a new level with a more mature cinematic and emotional campaign. The story follows two worlds at war, one oppressed, the other in control, and characters bearing the scars of both sides. It's a long, intense journey filled with twists, but what sticks most is how the themes are handled with genuine humanity. Combat is real-time, fast, and deeply satisfying. Each character has unique skills, and the system of aerial combos and team attacks keeps everything moving. It's strategic, rhythmic, and explosive. Fights look amazing and give you a constant sense of growth. Every boss fight feels like a true lesson learned. The world is divided into regions, each with distinct visual and social identity. Deserts, forests, futuristic cities, abandoned villages, all alive in their own way. The contrast between beauty and suffering is constant. The atmosphere reinforces the story's weight, and the party's conversations build real, believable relationships. Tales of Arise balances action, drama, and progression like few others. It's gorgeous, gripping, and full of heart. A game that stands out not just for its polish, but for its courage in tackling pain, oppression, and hope head-on without losing its soul along the way. Persona 5 Royal is the kind of RPG that takes over every part of your time. The campaign is split between the daily life of a student in Tokyo and a battle against a twisted world where corrupt adults manifest their darkest desires. The story mixes social commentary, growth, and friendship in a way that's smart, direct, and incredibly engaging. Each arc tackles serious themes without losing momentum or style. The turn-based combat is classic, but modernized with a focus on weaknesses, persona fusion, and flashy team attacks. The pace is fast, battles are intense, and every party member has a clear role. The real strategy lies in preparation, assembling your team, studying enemy patterns, and navigating palaces, trap-filled, puzzle-heavy dungeons with serious challenges. Tokyo is brought to life with incredible attention to detail. You study, work, hang out with friends, and every choice affects your skills and the campaign's pace. The bonds you build influence combat and unlock special abilities. Everything is connected and each day matters. The routine becomes gameplay, and soon enough, it's addictive. Persona 5 Royal is an RPG that oozes style and depth from every frame. It's elegant, clever, and ridiculously complete. A game where you care about every conversation, every decision, every fight. A journey packed with content that rewards total commitment, one of the genre's modern greats. Greedfall throws you into a brand new world rooted in colonial history, where diplomacy, religion, and disease shape your path. The campaign starts with a peaceful mission, but quickly dives into broken alliances, political betrayal, and moral dilemmas. It's an RPG about hard choices, where every faction has a point, and none are entirely right. Gameplay blends real-time combat with tactical pauses. You can build your character around magic, swords, firearms, or social manipulation. Fights are strategic and well-paced, but it's the choices that carry real weight. Dialogue shapes everything: friendships, conflicts, and even the game's ending. Every decision feels important, and the consequences are never hidden. The world is vast exotic forests, oppressed villages, forgotten ruins, and tense cities. The setting blends 17th century realism with fantasy, creating a unique atmosphere. Your companions have strong personal stories and their own opinions, which often clash during the journey. Greedfall may not have a blockbuster budget, but it's packed with soul, ambition, and substance. It's an RPG that values political and moral depth over flashy spectacle, a game worth playing slowly and thoughtfully, because it has plenty to say. Kronos Before the Ashes is an action RPG with a bold twist. Every time you die, your character ages. That changes everything. Early on, you're quick but weak in magic. As you grow older, you lose agility but gain wisdom and arcane power. It's a loop of learning and adaptation that ties beautifully into the game's core theme: persistence in the face of failure. Combat is simple and Souls-like, all about positioning, dodging, and patience. Every enemy poses a real threat, and bosses are especially tough. But the game rewards learning patterns and player evolution as much as character progression. The system is clean, tight, and always tense. The setting blends dark fantasy with light sci-fi. Abandoned castles, enchanted forests, and ancient tech ruins form a world where old and new coexist in silence. The visuals are minimalist but stylish, and the music keeps things introspective. It's not open world, but each area hides secrets and ambient storytelling. Kronos is compact but impactful. Its aging mechanic adds real weight to death and completely shifts how you approach challenges. It's about growing, trying again, and learning from every mistake. A quiet game but full of strong, well-executed ideas. Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous is the kind of RPG that holds nothing back: systems, content, choices, and complexity. The campaign throws you into a crusade against demonic forces, but the real focus is on the decisions you make along the way. You can follow paths of good, evil, corruption, redemption, even become a mythic being. Every choice matters and changes everything. Gameplay is deep, offering turn-based tactics or real-time with pause. Based on the Pathfinder tabletop system, expect spreadsheets, insanely detailed builds, and near-total freedom. You can create pure warriors, insane wizards, stealthy rogues, or divine monstrosities. The learning curve is steep but incredibly rewarding. Every victory feels earned. The world is dark, epic, and full of conflict. Cities are on the brink, armies clash with colossal beasts, and alliances are fragile. Your mythic path, Angel, Demon, Swarm Lord, Trickster, affects not just skills, but dialogue, events, even full endings. The game gives you power, but always makes you pay for it. Wrath of the Righteous is for fans of dense, long, decision-heavy RPGs, an adult fantasy epic where combat is only half the battle, the rest is about who you choose to become. One of the most complete RPGs of the modern era. Eastward is an action RPG that wins you over with its simplicity and then breaks your heart with its depth. The campaign follows two characters on a journey through a ruined world, with underground cities, desolate landscapes, and a buried past no one dares to face. It's a touching adventure full of sweet moments and bitter undertones about loss, hope, and starting over. Gameplay is light and polished. You switch between the two leads to solve puzzles, explore, and fight enemies using makeshift weapons. Combat is simple, but fits the story's rhythm. The game focuses more on exploration and connection with its world than grind or complex systems. That makes it feel more personal. The pixel art is stunning. Every scene feels like a moving painting. Cities feel alive, NPCs have real stories, and the world looks tired but not dead. The soundtrack adds to the melancholy with soft, nostalgic tones. Nothing here is wasted. Everything carries meaning. Eastward is small in scope but massive in emotion. An RPG that chooses to move you rather than impress you. It wraps around you slowly and lingers long after it ends. A quiet masterpiece showing how simplicity and heart can go hand in hand. Unddember tries to blend fast-paced action RPG combat with a fully open-ended progression system. The campaign unfolds in a world thrown into chaos after the balance among 12 gods is shattered and a destructive 13th god is born. You fight this new evil and also the limitations of a broken system. Everything revolves around power and what it costs. Combat is fast and flashy with tons of enemies, massive loot drops, and explosive spells similar to Diablo, but what sets it apart is the total freedom, no fixed classes. You build your character using runes and gear, shaping your playstyle however you want. It's dynamic and addictive. The settings range from claustrophobic dungeons to cursed plains and crumbling temples. The pace is quick, but there's still room to explore and gather resources. The rune system allows constant tweaks and you feel real progress with each upgrade. Despite its traditional action structure, the game constantly throws variety and surprises at you. Unddember doesn't reinvent the genre, but it delivers freedom and momentum efficiently. A solid action RPG for those who love tinkering with builds, chasing loot, and testing wild ability combos. Simple on the surface, but deep enough to keep you hooked for hours. Monster Hunter Rise stays true to the series' essence while adding speed and fluidity. The campaign revolves around a wave of colossal monsters threatening your village, and you must take them down one by one. The story is light, but the focus is the hunt, tracking, crafting, and growing stronger with each mission. Combat is technical, heavy, and built around learning enemy patterns. The biggest new feature is the wire bug, a mystical tool that lets you dash, leap, dodge mid-air, and even mount monsters. It changes everything about mobility and combat. The weapon roster remains huge and deep, and learning each is part of the fun. Maps are big and vertical, offering way more movement freedom. Exploration is now a core part of gameplay, gathering materials, finding small creatures, and uncovering secrets. The creature and world design carries strong Japanese influence, giving the game a distinct identity, and every monster defeated becomes material for new gear. Monster Hunter Rise delivers fast, demanding action with deep systems. It's a game about mastery, learning, adapting, and returning stronger. Addictive, beautiful, and full of character. Ashen is an action RPG with Souls-like roots and a calm soul. The campaign takes place in a world just emerging from darkness, and you're part of the rebuilding. It's about connection, exploration, and facing threats bigger than yourself. But the game never loses its serenity. Even pain here is quiet. Combat is measured with stamina, dodging, and careful movement, but it's never punishing without reason. There's a constant sense of fair progression. You're accompanied by an AI or co-op partner, which changes exploration entirely. The co-op is subtle but ever-present, reinforcing the theme of community. The world is minimalist but full of wonder. Empty mountains, forgotten ruins, threatening caves, all feel ancient and calm. The art style with no outlines adds softness and a poetic tone. The soundtrack matches with gentle notes that make everything feel contemplative. The journey is tough but never hopeless. Ashen doesn't shout, it whispers. A game that embraces silence and makes it powerful. It doesn't want to destroy you, it wants to rebuild you. and it does so with grace, beauty, and quiet depth. Encased is an isometric RPG straight from the classic Fallout playbook, a post-apocalyptic story packed with choices, factions, and real consequences. The campaign takes place inside the Dome, a mysterious structure filled with lost tech, where nothing can leave. You're part of a corporation fighting for power within, and your mission quickly becomes a struggle to survive. Combat is turn-based, focused on positioning, smart skill use, and tight resource management. But the real heart lies outside combat, in the dialogue, decisions, and paths you choose. You can play as a diplomat, thief, manipulator, killer, or all of them, and the game responds clearly to your actions. The world blends sci-fi with bleakness. Tech ruins, mutated creatures, rogue machines, and desperate survivors fill every corner. The Dome holds countless stories, and the characters you meet are full of nuance. The narrative can shift drastically, even changing who you are by the end. Encased is for fans of dense, text-heavy RPGs with true freedom. It doesn't hold your hand, judge your path, or hand you easy answers. It's about choice, consequence, and how far you're willing to go in a world that's already given up on logic. Oblivion Remastered brings back one of the most beloved RPGs ever, now with updated visuals and systems. The original campaign still shines. You begin as a prisoner, freed just as hellish portals open across the world. What follows is a story of chaos and balance, where every step opens a new possibility. Combat has been improved with better animations and effects, but the core remains swords, magic, stealth, and open progression. You build your character your way and the world responds. Guilds, side quests, secrets in the mountains, nothing feels forced, everything flows. Cyrodiil remains one of the most alive and varied maps in the series. Forests, forts, grand cities, cursed caves, all packed with discovery. Time systems and dialogue have been improved, deepening immersion. It's a world that breathes on its own and invites you to lose yourself in it again. Oblivion Remastered doesn't reinvent, it refines the unforgettable, a vast open RPG full of stories you uncover on your own. And now that it's all polished and modernized, there's no excuse not to dive in all over again. Unforld is the kind of RPG that throws chaos right into your hands. The campaign unfolds in real time, with dynamic events, characters who follow their own routines, and a world that reacts to your choices, even the ones you don't notice. There's no right path. You can help, betray, ignore, or destroy. The game simply watches and adapts. Combat is tactical, focusing on positioning and ability synergy. You can set up ambushes, manipulate the terrain, and chain effects with precision. Every battle feels different, shaped not only by your party but by what's happening around you. World interaction changes encounters, and often the best solution isn't even violence. And the world truly feels alive. NPCs follow daily schedules, cities breathe, rumors spread. You're inside a functioning ecosystem where every choice is a stone tossed into water, creating unpredictable ripples. The game weaves together magic, politics, and morality without relying on rigid story beats. Nothing stands still, and that's exactly why it feels real. Witchstone doesn't guide you, it sets you free. That's what makes every campaign unique, full of unexpected meetings, broken alliances, and real consequences. It's the kind of RPG that demands attention and rewards you with rare freedom. A game made for those who want to find out what happens when nobody tells them what to do. If any of these RPGs have ever been part of your life, or if you just found a new one to try, drop a comment and let me know which one caught your eye. And if you enjoyed the video, leave a like to support the channel. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell so you never miss a new list. And if you love fast-paced action, click the card and check out our video on the most insane single-player games you absolutely need to play in 2025.